Welcome to Perfect-ish, where it's not about having perfect time management, but about perfecting your relationship with time. I'm your host, Callie Brigham, and every week we'll talk all things time and how to maximize it without burnout or guilt. Whether we're chatting with an expert or I'm sharing my 20 years of time management experience, you'll learn simple strategies to make every moment count. Here, it's all about getting close to perfect-ish. So let's synchronize our watches and dive in. Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the story of the stolen suitcase. Dun, dun, dun. Featuring yours truly. I stole a suitcase. I'll admit it. Feels good. Confession feels good for the soul. Let me tell you a little bit about this crazy story, and you might want to buckle up for this one. A few weeks ago, I flew from Pensacola, where I live, to Charlotte, North Carolina. And before I took off, I had to take a picture outside the airport. Got my rose gold suitcase packed and ready to go, and a little carry-on, and off I went. When I landed in Charlotte, I had anticipated that I was going to get an Uber. I was with my mom and we were going to be staying just for one night at our friend Wendy's house before our conference started the next day. And I like to pre-conference. Wendy lives on beautiful Lake Norman, just outside of Charlotte, and super excited to do so. So land and, the little hustle of turning your phone back on, etc. So I look at my phone and Wendy says, "What airline did you fly?" And I was thinking to myself, Wendy, you little stinker. We were just going to Uber. You're doing enough. But sure enough, in true Wendy fashion, she was going to come to pick us up at the airport. Now, I knew that the Charlotte airport pickup area was going to be a little chaotic, and the whole airport itself was definitely packed. And if you've been traveling via air lately, then you know what I mean. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, gonna have a quick bathroom break, gonna go snag my checked suitcase. My mom just did a carry-on, yay for her, but I had a lot that I had to bring. So I was gonna grab my checked suitcase and then try to book it outside so that Wendy didn't either have to try to sit there and then get in trouble or circle and circle and circle. That's what's on my mind. We get down to the baggage claim. I see some people that I know, and they're so kind and lovely, and I'm trying to say hello to them, and I spot my rose gold suitcase. So I'm thinking, okay, got to get my suitcase, got to get back to my mom, got to get outside to Wendy, got to check my phone, got to make sure. So I grab my suitcase, we book it outside just in time. There's Wendy. We give our hugs, throw our suitcases in the back of her car, and head the maybe 35 minutes or so to her house. Once we get to her house, it is so gorgeous. I was shown my room. My mom and I each had separate rooms. By the way, one of the things that Wendy did, she printed out pictures of our family and put them in frames by our bedside with fresh flowers. Okay, note to self, this is just an added bonus forever and from now on, always. I'm going to do that. It meant so much. Well, our rooms were upstairs. So being the lovely devoted daughter that I am, I took my mom's suitcase upstairs for carry-on, took mine up, took my rose gold suitcase. It had one of those luggage racks, so laid it on that. And then we went down to have some lunch, sit out by the lake, and we had the most delightful afternoon and evening. We arrived at Wendy's house probably about 2:30. We ended up having girl lunch and girl dinner, if you know what that is, just kind of some charcuterie and some just lovely little finger foods. We were going to go out to dinner and take the boat there, but we were so comfy on our back porch. We just sat there. I was going to steam my dress at her house. I had a big fancy gown, but I was just so comfy. And so I just sat there and enjoyed my time with Wendy until about 10:30 that night, and it was time to go to bed. So I go upstairs and just thinking, this has been such a lovely day. I probably should have maybe changed. I probably should have steamed my dress, but I was just really in the moment and really enjoying it after a very frantic and chaotic few minutes at the airport. I go upstairs, I go to my suitcase, and I notice that there's a lock on my suitcase. Now, keep in mind, my rose gold suitcase was a newer suitcase. The airline had trashed one of my wheels, and now you get to pick from a catalog. And I had picked a new suitcase and didn't really remember that much about it. But I did remember not locking my suitcase with a little lock. And I thought, oh no, did the airline see a lock on here and just close it up? Because I don't have the key. I don't have a key. I know that for sure. So I am pulling at this lock thinking, oh no, it's 10:30. I text Wendy, who's downstairs getting ready for bed. And I said, I'm going to need some kind of, I know her husband Lee loves tools. I was like, I'm going to need some kind of tool that I can cut through this lock because I got to get inside my suitcase. I'm pulling at it. I'm tugging at it. I'm for a couple of minutes. And now I'm getting mad at the airline until all of a sudden I think to myself, um, maybe I should just double check that this is my suitcase. It was not my suitcase. It's a tag on my suitcase with someone else's name. And thank God, phone number, Jackie. I sat and stared at that luggage tag and I just thought, what have I done? For the last 8 hours, I have sat with someone else's suitcase, stole someone else's suitcase, and now I gotta pay the piper. So I called or no, actually, I did not call. I texted Jackie. "Hi, Jackie. This is Callie. I have your suitcase." Dot, 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 when somebody dot, 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 dot. And without going into our whole text thread, let's just say that Jackie was so happy that I had her suitcase. I didn't really specify that I'd stolen it. I just said that I had it. Come to find out, Jackie was staying, I think, maybe at her granddaughter's house. It was only 8 minutes away, left the suitcase outside. Jackie did tell me that she was really grateful because she's 73 years old and her medication was inside her checked bag. I did want to say, now, Jackie, can't we all learn lessons from this? I tell the story much funnier in person. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but Jackie, like, we don't put our medication in a checked suitcase. And Jackie, we do use air tags now, which, by the way, I did then go check and see where my suitcase was because I have an air tag in it. Sure enough, right at the airport, right where it was supposed to be. So that is the story of the stolen suitcase for 8 hours. Jackie did tell me how many hours she had spent at the airport with the airline looking for her suitcase. I know it gets worse. It gets worse. It just gets worse. The more you think about poor Jackie, and here I am, blissfully unaware. So, why am I telling you the story? You will not forget this, nor will I ever, in a hurry, grab somebody else's suitcase and not look at the tag. And I'm probably going to put some ginormous ribbon or yarn or something identification wise on my suitcases from now on. So I know that I know that I know that I know that is my suitcase. Well, I'm sharing this with you because that is the classic case of what happens when you're in a hurry and you multitask, which is what I was doing. I had my bag, I had my phone, I'm texting her, I'm saying hi to people, I'm in a hurry, I got to get where I'm going, and I'm multitasking, and I'm still a suitcase. So, what I want to talk to you about today is the difference between multitasking and my favorite thing in the world, habit stacking. So, are you ready? Multitasking versus habit stacking. Most people think multitasking is the answer to getting more done. I mean, I thought I was getting everything done all at once. But the other approach that is backed by science that is so much better is called habit stacking. And I think, one of the best books on this. Yes, I'm going to say it. James Clear, Call Me Atomic Habits. It's so good. So if you want to take a deep dive, let's talk about it though. What people think multitasking is doing multiple things at once to save time or to be more efficient or to get things done quicker. The reality is your brain is actually task switching rapidly. And what happens is it loses focus every time. Research shows, we like our research here, that you lose up to 40% efficiency when multitasking. And it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after switching tasks. Common examples of this that backfire on us, and I'm guilty of all of these, checking emails while on calls. And I will say that you're not going to hear me clickety clack when I'm on a call with somebody, but I have been known to check a notification or two when I'm on a call with somebody, scrolling social media while watching TV, texting while having conversations. It feels productive, but it's not. And here's why: the constant switching gives us a dopamine hit that feels like progress, but we're actually getting less done and with lower quality. So let's talk about what's so much better: habit stacking. What this is basically linking a new habit to an existing established habit, kind of using the formula of this. After I, existing habit, I will, new habit. Occasionally it is while, existing habit, I will, new habit. Typically, though, after. This works because we're training our brain to use our existing neural pathways instead of fighting them. What do we say all the time? We don't fight it, we flow with it. This is going to give us better momentum rather than willpower, and it's going to create these automatic sequences that your brain not only learns to expect, but likes to expect. The key difference really is, instead of doing multiple things simultaneously, that's multitasking, we're doing multiple things sequentially in a planned chain. That's habit stacking. Okay, so simultaneously is multitasking, sequentially is habit stacking in a simplified way. Here are a few examples of the after. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write down my 3 priorities for the day. After I brush my teeth at night, I will lay out my clothes for tomorrow. After I sit down at my desk, I will review my calendar for 2 minutes. How about a few more examples here? A morning routine, let's stack them out a little bit more. After I wake up, I make my bed. After I make my bed, I do 10 push-ups. After I do my push-ups, I drink a full glass of water. After I drink my water, I review my top 3 goals. So really, waking up flows all the way into reviewing goals. How about a work one? Okay. After I open my laptop, I close all unnecessary tabs. Do you like that one? After I close the tabs, I write down my number one priority. After I write down my number one priority, I put my phone in another room. After I remove the distractions, I start a 25-minute focus timer. How about, let's do one more for an evening. After I finish dinner, I put dishes in the dishwasher. After I load the dishwasher, I prepare my lunch for tomorrow. After I prep lunch, I set up my workout clothes. After I set up my clothes, I read for 15 minutes. Now, I want to give you a couple quick examples of the during that I do. One is when actually I started this, I used to do this. While my coffee was brewing, I would drink a big glass of water. So that's an example, but it has to be a task that's not requiring anything else from you. So I was just standing there while, and I guess you could even say it's after, but for me, felt like it was during. Or another example that I used to do: during my drive to the gym, I would have my prayer time. I guess you could also say, after I get in the car, I put my phone away. After I put my phone away, I did my prayer time. But I just wanted to give you a couple of examples in case that helps you, of the after I or the during. Now, here's why it works so great. Your brain, my brain, our brains have limited decision-making capacity. And when we multitask, it overloads it. But when we habit stack, we reduce decisions by creating automatic sequences. Remember that automatic and that sequence is the deal. It's almost like we're pre-deciding, if this, then that. And we're, I would say, 2 to 3 more times likely to follow through when we do that. The beautiful part of this, if you want to give it a go, is the compound effect. I like compound effect. I like it when it comes with my money, with my time, with my energy. So your small stacked habits or sequential habits, they build momentum and they create bigger change over time. Unlike multitasking, which usually leads to half-finished tasks, poorly finished tasks, or tasks that you might have to apologize for later on, like stealing someone's suitcase. All right, so how do we do it? I'm going to really make this simple for you. The first thing, and James Clear teaches this, and this is how I started doing it as well, is to make a list of all the habits that you already do in order. So I started in order. I wake up, I do this, etc. Go through the whole day, and all the habits do not have to be good habits, bad habits. In a manner of speaking, they're all neutral to start off with. So I started with my entire list of habits, just went through my day. What are the things that I do without really thinking, without really planning, without needing them on a calendar or on a checklist? Then I say to myself, as I look at this, who is it that I want to be? Who is it that I want to be? And you're going to start ridiculously small. What are 2 things that that kind of person does? So for me, when I started the coffee, I wanted to be healthy. What is something that a healthy person does? They hydrate and they drink a lot of water. Another thing of who I wanted to be someone whose faith was strong. What is something that they do? They pray. All right. So I thought drinking water and praying. And I think the smaller you can start, the better. So ridiculously small is perfect. Then you go back to your list. You're looking for obvious cues. Pick existing habits you already do consistently. Again, it could be brushing your teeth, starting your car, opening your laptop, etc. Clicking on your coffee pot. And then you're going to stack this new habit in a similar context. So group habits that happen in the same location or with the same mindset. So again, going back to my example, my glass of water, the water was right by the coffee pot. So I was able to do that, and about the amount of time that it took to brew my coffee is about the amount of time that it took to down that glass of water. Being in the car is a good time to not be on my phone, and I had about 20 minutes. And I thought, well, that's plenty of time to get some initial prayer time going. And then what you could do is you can track this. You can track this chain. And I started to do this for a very long time in my journal. I would track every day, drank my water, did my prayer time. And you can mark off that sequence and give yourself momentum. And then what happens is eventually those habits now go on that main list of habits, and you can add in 1 or 2 more. You can even decide at that point if you want to remove one. And I ended up removing the coffee and just drinking the water. I know that's crazy, but I would have never said, I'm just going to drink water in the morning. That would have lasted 0 mornings. So instead, it was a very slow progression, but it progressed into where I am today. So the bottom line is multitasking divides our attention and it kills productivity. Habit stacking multiplies our results, creating these automatic sequences that require less willpower, but they deliver better outcomes. Hallelujah. So our action step today, we're going to pick one daily habit and stack one tiny new habit onto it this week. And maybe next week, add the second one. Start ridiculously small. Remember, it's not about doing more things at once. It's about doing the right things in the right order automatically. All right. So I told you to buckle up. I guess I could have said pack your bags. I don't think you'll soon forget my story. Bless it, Jackie. She was so kind. She was so loving. And I definitely learned my lesson. Habit stacking trumps multitasking any day. All right, friend. Till next time. God bless. Thanks for tuning in to the Perfect-ish Time Management Podcast. Let's keep the fun going. Follow me on social and join our Facebook community. And if you're ready for some one-on-one time management coaching to reach the top of your game without burnout or guilt, I'd love to chat. Book a free interest call using the link in the show notes or send me a DM. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review and share it with a friend who's ready to master their time too. Remember, we're in this together, making real progress towards becoming perfect-ish.